These are 6 different text animations that you can do in Premiere Pro. They are simple and will be perfect if you're just starting out. So let's get straight to it. I made some basic prepping here, as you can see. I have the backdrop just with black and white grid. The text layer is just separated into 6 parts that you saw in the intro. I have the audio that I recorded beforehand. These are 6 different... The first animation is pretty simple. We just have to copy this layer by holding Alt and dragging it on the top layer. We have 2 layers of text now. And the bottom layer, we will make it into just a stroke layer. So we're gonna turn off the fill option and turn on the stroke option. And we're gonna turn on the inner stroke. I will show you why it is. We go to the effects and we use crop here, and we're gonna use crop on the top layer here. Click on the crop and drag it over, and as you can see, now we see the bottom layer. The bottom layer is the stroke and the top layer is the fill, so we're gonna use it to animate it. This one is really simple. We're just gonna cut up our top layer into smaller pieces according to our audio, so we're gonna listen to it. And for every text piece, we're gonna just change the crop option. So the first one, we got it. Then for the second one, we choose the crop and just change it like this. For this one, we're gonna change crop to this one. And for the last one, we're gonna change the crop to the full text. And as you can see, these are 6 different... This type of text can be great for example, intros or just subtitles in general, and it's really simple to make. The second animation actually includes animation beforehand, because the first one was just 2 layers trick. With this one, we're gonna also duplicate the lower layer and make it double. In the effects tab, we choose Basic 3D, and we're gonna use Basic 3D to kinda tilt the text. I'm gonna turn off the bottom layer, and as you can see, we can manipulate the text really easy. And if we pull it to 90 degrees like this, we will not see the text. It will disappear, so it will be the starting position of our text here. We're gonna start with the first one. Let's go back to 0. Here is animation word. And for the first one, we're gonna go here and create keyframes. So basically, we're gonna turn on this toggle animation button, and we're gonna go to the 90 degrees, then skip forward a couple of frames, maybe 2 or 3, and go to -30, which will look like this. And then 1 frame forward and go back to 0, and we will see this text like flipping animation, which is really simple, and it actually looks great even without easing or easing out. But if you want to do something with like smoothing out the animation, you can choose ease out option. I think it looks a bit better with easing out. And for the second word, we're gonna use the same effect. We can just copy this effect, Basic 3D, copy it, and go to text animation, and delete this one, and just paste in with Ctrl V the Basic 3D that we already used. Animation. And we're gonna have the same text. This word is longer, so we can make it this animation a little bit longer, so we're gonna move and drag these 2 keyframes a bit further. But the only problem is that we're animating the whole text right here. So we also need to use crop here, as well as on the first one. So by using crop, we're gonna use it on the first one, I'm gonna use it on the second one. The first one, we're gonna use the crop just to isolate the first word, which is text. And for the second one, we're gonna isolate the word animations. And it will look like this. So we have 2 separate words. But now we need to kind of have a backdrop without animation. So we're gonna have the lower layer without animation to kind of just be there. The crop once again on the lower level, and we're gonna crop to the first word, which is text here. And now it will look exactly as we want. For the third animation, this is probably my favorite type of text animation because I use it a lot in the video editing. So what you need to do is also copy the lower layer, also gonna use crop here on the whole block of text, and also you're gonna animate the position of the text in your crop frames, let's say that. So let's first just cut text into parts, as we already did, and we're gonna use the crop that we added here to isolate each word that we cut up. And we need to crop it a little bit differently because the text will be appearing from below, so we're gonna crop here right before the text ends, and do it with every single text piece that you have. So do it like this here as well. And now it looks like this as we crop it. That you can do in Premiere Pro. And now we will animate them. Let's go to the position, click on the toggle animation button, and just move the text like this before it hides. It will make the first keyframe and then make it a couple of frames forwards, and just press this reset parameter button and it will just snap the text back where it was. Pretty simple to do. Choose both of the keyframes that we did, copy them with Ctrl C, and just go to the every text piece that we have and just copy the same animation all over again. We can also experiment here with the keyframes easing in, easing out. So I think the actually easing out option here will be a bit better. Let's see. So like this. Yeah, I think it looks good this way. Maybe you will like easing in a little bit better. It looks okay, so we can just close it up choose these keyframes, Ctrl C, and just paste it in here, delete and add them back up. They will be already eased out, and just change the keyframes for other text. And now this text has this animation. And we need to do the same thing that we did with the text on the previous one. So we're gonna use the bottom layer as kinda a backdrop that will just display the static texts that we have. We're gonna just cut the lower layer according to our upper layer here, and we just gonna crop everything besides animated part, like this. Do the same part with cropping this text. Let's unmute the audio that you can do in Premiere Pro, and it looks really good. Next up, we will have the glitch effect that other editors use a bit. It can be done differently, but I think the simpler way to do is just copy the upper text, and we're gonna just hide the lower text for now. Just crop this text into words, as we did previously. We will go to Effects and choose Mosaic, and we also gonna use crop here as well. So the cropping we will use just to cut the first word off. We're gonna hide Mosaic for now, like this. They are back to Mosaic, and we're gonna keyframe the Mosaic options with horizontal blocks. Okay, toggle animation. The first one will be 10 as it is, 2 frames forward. Let's bring it to like 100 and 100. Then another like 1 frame. Let's go back to like 25 and maybe 35, something like this. And then 2 frames forward, and let's go to 1000. The text will be clear this way. Yeah, so it will look like this. It's really simple, but I think a cool animation, especially if you're like making something with digital glitch effects in your video. And the good thing about this, you don't really need to ease in or ease out anything, because the jittery animation looks cool here. It looks better even. So we can just copy these keyframes, and by Ctrl V go here and use it in the Mosaic option like this. And we're gonna use crop here, let's not forget, like this. The second word, as you can see, it's a little bit longer, so we can make the animation longer as well, like this maybe. And do the same thing with the lower backdrop, which is static. Use the crop tool once again, using crop tool a lot in this video. Turn it back up and just use it like this. And here it is. A simple and really nice animation that you can do really fast. But let's move to the next text. This one is pretty popular one, but I will add a little bit of flair here. So this is like a typewriter type effect. Let's go to media and create a new item. We will choose color matte, it will be alright, and we're gonna make it white. And we're gonna use this color matte as this line that we will animate, as well as the text. And the color matte, we gonna crop it up as usual a little bit. Well, let's make it a little bit smaller, something like, I think it looks okay. And we're gonna add a little bit flair to the line itself to kind of stand out. We'll add an alpha glow to the color matte. Let's go to alpha glow, make it glow maybe like 50. And we're also gonna use some noise, just a bit, maybe like 13%, something. Yeah, it looks pretty nice with 13%, maybe like 15. Maybe it will be too much, but let's see. Yeah, it looks okay. So let's go to alpha glow. I think it's too much. Make it 45 and see how it will look in the animation. And now we just basically want to animate the position of this color matte line, and we're gonna align it with the text animation that we're gonna use. With text animation, we're gonna use linear wipe effect. Linear wipe somewhere here. Yeah, and with linear wipe, we're gonna change the wipe angle to -90, because we will need to start the transition from the left, and we're gonna use this transition toggle animation. Let's toggle it to 100, and let's move back here and just put it into 0. The only thing that we need to adjust here is the velocity of our line. So we're gonna animate the position here and then just adjust, add additional keyframes, move the line here in the end, and let's see how it looks. As you can see, in some places line is too fast, and in some places it's too slow. So we're gonna change it a bit. So here, let's change the position and actually make it like right here. And here we're gonna change it to something along the lines. The only thing that I don't really like is that texts and the animation ends right in the end. So let's go back to the text and change the position of this keyframe to here, and it will change the pacing, I think, up a bit. So we're gonna need to go back to color matte and change the position like right here. And this one, we're gonna change the position to here. I think we just can remove the last keyframe here completely, just delete it, and let's see how it looks. It looks a little bit jittery, as you can see. It doesn't look perfect, I think, so maybe we're gonna make it here. After a bit of tweaking, let's see the final result. And will be perfect. yeah, you might change it a little bit and be more specific with keyframes, but I think generally it looks okay, it looks decent. And now let's move to the next animation. Last one, I didn't really see a lot of people do, but I think it's really effective and a cool way to animate text. We're gonna use Alpha Glow that we used. Alpha Glow, let's add here, and we actually make this Alpha Glow like huge, maybe 80, maybe even 100. Let's make it 85 for now. It's a lot, but we're gonna animate this glow. Basically, we just cut up the text once again, and let's just add the animation, and let's add some keyframes to Alpha Glow. So we're gonna go to glow option, toggle animation. It will be 85, and then a couple of frames forward, let's make it 0. See how it looks? And in this case, I think the easing out is the best option, so let's ease it out. Let's open up Glow, make it like this maybe. And we also gonna use crop because we are animating the single words in the text option. So we're gonna go to the crop, change it like this. Let's copy crop, move it everywhere here. Let's change it. Let's isolate every single word that we use here. Let's see if you're just starting out. It looks a little bit rough because of the edges, but we're gonna change it with actually this bottom layer. So let's crop it up as well. It's the same thing that we did in previous animation with the static text that will stay there. And crop it like this. And let's see how it looks if you're just starting out. We didn't animate the other parts, so we're gonna use just go to Alpha Glow. It will be actually easier to just copy Alpha Glow itself. Change the Alpha Glow here. And copy it here as well, if you're just starting out. And now this animation looks pretty good, if you're just starting out. It's a pretty simple way to animate text, but I think it looks really unique. And yeah, that's basically it. Let's see the whole 6 animations. These are 6 different text animations that you can do in Premiere Pro. They are simple and will be perfect if you're just starting out. But now I'm gonna add a little bit flair to the whole text. I think it will look a bit better. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is just select all the text layers and just nest them. Let's call it like text blocks. And for the whole nested clip, we're gonna use some effects. I like the wave warp option to make the text a little bit like animated and moving. So here the wave height I will make maybe like 1 or maybe 2. And I will change the direction to 45 degrees, and this is how it looks. These are 6 different text animations that you can do in Premiere Pro. They are simple, and another thing that I like to do is actually add some texture to the text. We're gonna use this paper animation. We're gonna get it over our text. I'm gonna right click and scale to frame size. And now let's go to all text blocks and to the effects. Back to effects. Let's type in key, track matte key. We will use this one. Drag it over our text block, our nested clip. We're gonna choose the matte to video 3, which is our layer with the text, but we can't see it. So we have to change matte alpha to matte luma. And now you will see, if you like make it a little bit closer, that actually the paper texture is in the text. So it looks pretty nice, and also will add some uniqueness to the text that you will add into the video. So yeah, the final product looks like this. These are 6 different text animations that you can do in Premiere Pro. They are simple and will be perfect if you're just starting out. Thank you for watching this video. You can get the project file itself on my Patreon. I will leave the link in the description. I will also leave all the assets in the description. You can get them for free and just repeat after me. And yeah, once again, thank you for watching. See you next time.